It's the most wonderful time of the year. The World Cup is here. Welcome to the Box Score Quest for the Cup. I'm your host, Sam DeCoste, and I'll be joined by some top football experts to bring you the Box Score's preview of the greatest show on earth, the 2022 FIFA Men's World Cup. We start by taking a peek at the FIFA Men's World Rankings. Take a look at the top 10 ranked teams in the world based on FIFA's point system, beginning with Brazil, the 5-time winners. They lead off the rankings at number 1, followed by Belgium, Argentina, and the reigning world champions France. England sit at 5, Italy at 6, but ignore that. They did not qualify for this year's World Cup, sadly for the Italians. Rounding out the top 10 are Spain, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Denmark. Let's bring out my World Cup team now. We have on stage Kyle Bracco, Osmecki, and Nandan Nair to break down the top 10 and the heavyweights to win the World Cup. Kyle, Brazil are the number 1 team in the world. They are the heavyweight odds-on favorites to win the whole thing. Do you agree with that?
I really do agree. I think they are so strong on paper. They have elite talent at every single position on the pitch, not to mention the best goalkeeper in the world, which goes really far in knockout football, and depth to back it up. They are the team to beat.
Ashley?
I agree. I think that they have what it takes. I'm worried about the chemistry a little bit, but I think their midfield's really strong, and I think that they can find the back of the net.
Nandan?
I agree. I think they have some of the best attacking talent in the world right now. You know, they have Neymar, Vinicius Jr., Rafinha. I could go on. They really have one of the best teams in terms of depth in the world. So I think if anyone's going to win it, I think Brazil is a good shout.
And here you can see on the screen the depth of riches this Brazil team has going forward. Gabriel Jesus, we didn't name him. He's banged in the goals for Arsenal this year. He may not even get on the plane. But if you look at that top 4, which of those top 4 players will lead the charge for Brazil? Is it Neymar? Is it Vinicius? Kyle, what do you think?
I think it's going to be Vinicius. I think at this World Cup, Neymar is going to really be playing more as like a stretch 8-10. He's not going to be the one responsible for putting it in the back of the net. That is going to be Vinicius and Rafinha with service from the wing, with players like Richarlison, and also somebody who Tite really loves out of Fluminense in Brazil, Pedro, who's a big center forward.
Now, Nandan, if Neymar is going to win the World Cup for the first time in his career, he can't roll around like he did 4 years ago. He spent 14 minutes on the ground in the World Cup in 2018. He needs to really take charge and be the leader that Brazil need him to be to win this tournament.
He does. And, you know, Neymar's been the poster boy for this Brazil team for about a decade now. He's really been the epitome of what we see as Brazil football, the face of this generation. And I really think at this point, all the Pelé comparisons, he needs to deliver now. I think a fun stat that, you know, I just thought I'd point out, Neymar right now is the same age Pelé was when he played and won his last World Cup. Now, Pelé played his last World Cup having won it all. Neymar has it all to win. So I think if he really wants to restore his image and fulfill that legacy, he needs to deliver this World Cup.
I mean, that's a really rich comparison. Unless he actually does win this World Cup, I don't know if they should even be in the same conversation.
Well, they shouldn't be in the same conversation, but considering how much they've been compared, I think to have some sort of legacy, I think he needs to deliver this World Cup.
To be fair, if Neymar scores 3 goals in the World Cup, he will pass Pelé as Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer. That is no accident. He is one of Brazil's best all-time playmakers. Now, in the midfield, Ashley, you have Fabinho and Casemiro potentially starting in that 4-2-3-1 midfield. But if you look at their seasons, they're not in form. Neither are their clubs. Does that concern you at all?
It does concern me, but I think that Casemiro's move to the Premier League is actually good for him. I think that change, that transition, is the right challenge he needs to be able to play on this international level right and to really get it done.
All right, let's move on to the reigning world champions, France. They're hoping to become the first team since 1962 to repeat as World Cup champions. And we can take a look at how France is expected to line up in Qatar. You can notice a lot of new faces. This is not the same team that we saw 4 years ago win the World Cup, especially in midfield, Nandan.
Yeah, they are very depleted in midfield this year, you know, with N'Golo Kante and Paul Pogba, who were both instrumental in 2018. Both of them are out. I think that's going to be a tough point for France to find that depth in that midfield. They do have a strong squad, but do they have enough to win the World Cup? I don't know. And an interesting stat, European teams have won 10 out of 11 World Cups inside Europe. But outside of Europe, they've only won 2 out of 10. So It's not looking good for them.
This is feeling like a South American heavy World Cup, in my opinion, and I think France are going to just not have enough. Unless players like Camavinga and Chouameni, who are young midfielders midfielders for Real Madrid. Unless they have an amazing World Cup, one of the best ever for a young side, I really don't think they have enough to even make it past a quarterfinal.
Now, Ashley, one player that was not in Russia who will be in Qatar, Karim Benzema, the Ballon d'Or winner, fresh off of the silverware ceremony. He's going to play in this World Cup for France. That's a huge difference, isn't it?
It is. I think all eyes on Benzema. He is France's real only chance. I think that Mbappe is going to get in his own way. Their huge hole in the midfield is going to present a real problem. I think it's Benzema and Lloris.
And I think he's the most hungry player in this France team, because if you remember, many of those France players, they've already won a World Cup. They don't have much to prove.
He doesn't have that winner's medal. He wants it.
He wants it, and he has the chance. He has a bad rep with the French fans. He has a chance to rewrite that narrative the way he did last year with Madrid. I think if you look at this team, the way they're struggling, if he can drag this team through the way he dragged Real Madrid through last year, I think that could go a long way to rewriting his narrative.
Benzema is beat up, though. I think it's really all about a question of fitness.
Now, the elephant in the room. France are the reigning world champions. Usually when you win the World Cup, the next time around you don't really do as well. There's what they call the champion's curse. Usually the reigning champion flops in the group stage. It's happened in the last 3 World Cups. It happened to Germany in 2018. It happened to Spain in 2014. Italy before that. The last time a team advanced out of the group after winning the World Cup was 2006, and it was Brazil. And France suffered the same fate when they won their first World Cup in 1998. Do we think that France can buck this curse once and for all, or is the curse going to stay?
Curse is going to stay. I don't think this French team is anywhere near strong enough. I think, as you said, yes, Tchouaméni is an incredible player. You have Camavinga, players like that, but they are nowhere near mature enough to progress to the World Cup level. I think this French team is going to struggle. I don't see any chance.
But their group, they have Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. Who's standing in this team's way?
I think it'll probably be a case of Denmark winning the group. I really think Denmark is an underrated side. However, I don't know if France are really going to get past a quarterfinal, maybe not even the 16, but they'll make it out of the group.
I actually want to point out Tunisia real quick. I think that I had them as my sneaky storyline for Group D. I think their team right now, they're undergoing a rebuild. They have a core group of players that have good time in Europe. They have a young 18-year-old midfielder, Hannibal Mejbri, who's doing well at Birmingham City. I think this Tunisia team could be a really good shout, especially in a one-off game.
Kadri played great at the 2018 World Cup, too.
He did.
All right, let's move on to Argentina and Portugal. They are also among the heavyweights to win this year's World Cup. In all likelihood, this will be the last time we see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo play on football's biggest stage. They've each played in 4 World Cups, but the results have been middle of the pack. Argentina came close in 2014, losing in the final. Portugal fell in the semifinals in 2006, but this year is almost certainly Messi and Ronaldo's last shots at a World Cup. Ashley, between these 2 countries, which one has a better chance of winning it all this time around?
I think that Portugal is hungrier. I think that they're going to go farther.
Really?
Yes, I do. I think that they have that really strong back line, and that midfield is so strong right now with Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes together. I think makes a beautiful, beautiful combination.
The question is Ronaldo going to be a problem on the field, both in the locker room and on the field? He's getting up there.
He's the most toxic player that's going to be in Qatar right now. He's the guy that has a Samsung in a green group chat. He's that level of toxic right now.
I think Mbappe is a close second.
But if you're Portugal, do you want him leading the line?
I don't. I think that Portugal, it's all going to, especially because Diogo Jota is not going to this World Cup, which is a big, big miss because that's somebody that can really link a lot of these players together. Rafael Leao is going to be the one that has to lead this line because Ronaldo simply cannot play every single one of these games at 37 years old if Portugal want to win this whole thing. It's going to have to come down to Leao.
I think that Joao Cancelo is going to be a huge plug in this game too. I keep mentioning Portugal's back line, but I have full faith in them.
Now, Nandan, Argentina have not lost a game in 3 years. They have a 35-game unbeaten streak. If they go 2 games more undefeated, that is the record internationally with Italy back a while ago. Do you think that they can? Are they likely to win in Portugal? What say you?
I 100% think Argentina is a much stronger team and more likely to go through. I think this is one of the strongest Argentina teams we've seen in a long time. I think especially in 2018, it was a transition period where a lot of the old guard was going out. They underperformed. But now they've got that perfect mix of a lot of young players, Leandro Paredes, Rodrigo de Paul, Emi Martinez, a lot of new guys that have come in, but they built it around Leo Messi, who is still in incredible form. So I think, honestly, I believe this Argentina team has everything it takes to win this World Cup.
It has to be Messi's greatest ever supporting cast at the international level, doesn't it?
Yeah, even without Paulo Dybala, I think Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez with him are perfectly suited to play.
Angel Di Maria as well.
Angel Di Maria as well. Papu Gomez still up there in years, but still really running the midfield. I think this team is perfectly suited for a guy like Messi to just be on the ball, run the game, and do his thing and find his little moments of brilliance.
We're going to head to commercial now, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're previewing some of the best groups at the World Cup, who's going to make it out of the group stage, and who's going home early. And the question on everyone's mind, is it coming home? All that and more after the break. You're watching The Box Score, Quest for the Cup.
When I arrive at my destination, I am gonna kill Bill.
What? Oh, okay, cutting. Sorry, can we get some of this?
Where in God's name is the gaffer's tape?
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Casey, and we're the National Broadcasting Society.
Come out to some of our weekly workshops, or work on some of our sets.
Explore the bigger picture with NBS.
We'll see you there.
All right, let's get another take. Camera, sound.
Welcome back to the Box Score Quest for the Cup. I'm your host, Sam DeCoste, still here with Kyle Bracco, and now joined by Donovan and Vivian Nguyen. Let's preview some of the World Cup groups, beginning with Group E, which features two of the last three World Cup champions, Spain and Germany. They meet in the group stage as well as Costa Rica and Japan. Connor, over to you first. Who do you like to win this group?
Honestly, Sam, I like Germany much better to win this group. I think overall they're just a more complete side than this Spain team, and honestly have more consistent threats than the Spain side do. I look at Spain and I just don't quite see the quality to push them over this Germany side.
Vivian.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Connor there. You know, Germany, they've got depth that I just don't think Spain has. Even with their attacking talents, they've got Sané, they've got Gnabry, you know, they've got Thomas Müller, and then their midfield is stacked. So I think in that department, they have a lot of quality, and that's why they're going to win the group.
Yeah, Spain with Morata, I think, is a big question mark, and he's shaken up. Ferran Torres, I don't know if the goals are coming from there. Unless Pedri is going to have the World Cup of all time, I don't know if it's going to happen for them.
We also have two treble-winning managers in this group. It's going to be really interesting to watch the chess match that goes on between these two teams. When they meet off head-to-head in the second match day of the group stage, Germany only has one win against Spain in their last 7 meetings. And in Germany's last 7 games period, Germany only has one win at all in the last 7 games. So Germany are not coming into this tournament in form at all.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a worry for this German side, but again, I just think, especially with their manager Hansi Flick, I think he just has the know-it-all to know exactly what this German team needs in the right moments at this World Cup. And I think, honestly, his experience in recent title pushes with Bayern Munich is going to really help them at this World Cup.
Now, this German team, with Hansi Flick at manager, the former Bayern manager, the Bayern connections on this team, it's like a great LinkedIn profile. They have so many mutual connections. Thomas Müller, he has 10 all-time goals in the World Cup. Serge Gnabry. They have Joshua Kimmich, Goretzka, Sewell, and Manuel Neuer between the posts. Mutual connections are going to be so valuable for this German team.
Yeah, no, the Bayern connection, I mean, we saw at the 2014 World Cup how they won it, and they had a bunch of players from Bayern. It's the same case now. Do I think they'll make it to the World Cup? No, like finals? No, but I definitely think that they have a shot of making it decently far.
They're one of those countries that are just philosophy. Every team, they're all the same way. They all are on the same page, and that I think is a really big plus at a tournament like this.
Connor, of Costa Rica and Japan, the two minnows of this group, which one do you think is likely to pick one of the big dogs off?
Honestly, Sam, between the two of them, I personally like Japan a lot better to do some damage to either Spain or Germany. I think they just are more organized as a team and have a bit more threat in their attacking line going forward to go and find them a goal. And also have one of the most solid center backs in the entire group in Maya Yoshida, who's playing his club football over at Schalke in Germany.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, though, with Costa Rica, they have Keylor Navas in goal. And he's been someone who's been really underrated, but he's a really great goalie.
The most disrespected goalkeeper on planet Earth. Give my man Navas some respect between the posts. Let's move on to Group A. Qatar, the tournament hosts, will kick off the tournament against Ecuador on November 20th. Also in Group A, some dark horses, Senegal and the Netherlands. Vivian, the latter are two of the dark horses to win the whole tournament. They meet on the second day of the tournament. Do you think either one of these teams can win the whole thing?
Yeah, I think the Netherlands has a great shot of that. They're just coming, into momentum at the right time with the Nations League, and they've got a super balanced squad. They've got experienced players. They have attacking talent up front, and they've got Louis van Gaal, who has a lot of experience just managing overall, and so they definitely have a shot for sure.
Van Dijk has some haters. I think he has a point to prove, and this defense could be really underrated with Van Dijk and De Ligt, as well as a really, really underrated midfield too. A lot of players like De Jong too, with chips on their shoulders.
Kyle, would you say this might be the deepest defender pool / back seven of any team in the World Cup? It's got to be one of them.
I mean, there really has to be. Like, we're not even talking about Nathan Ake. We're not talking about somebody like Denzel Dumfries, who's having a really, really great season for a resurgent Inter side. So this is a team, even like somebody like Daley Blind, who might not get on the pitch as much, but is a great leader. This is a really, really defensively strong side that's going to be great on the counterattack, not going to leak a lot, and they're a really underrated pick to win the whole thing.
And Connor, this Dutch team is out for revenge. They missed out on the World Cup 4 years ago, but they were third place 8 years ago with Louis van Gaal at the helm. What do you think? Are they going to make a deep run again in this year's World Cup?
Yeah, honestly, I think they have all the right tools to do it. Like you guys were saying, they have one of the most solid back sevens in all of world football, I think. Van Gaal, as a manager, just has so much experience under his belt and knows this squad inside and out like the back of his hand. Not to mention, Netherlands have one of the hottest commodities in world football right now in Cody Gakpo, the only player not named Neymar Jr. with more goal contributions this season than the Norwegian machine, Erling Haaland.
Now, Kyle, Senegal have to be maybe the best African team in recent memory. This is going to be a really fun team to watch in Qatar.
This is the best team coming out of Africa since Didier Drogba's Ivory Coast for sure. And sometimes it's simple. Sometimes a team only needs a great goalkeeper. They do. Mendy. A great defensive unit. They have Diallo and Koulibaly. Elite players.
Look at that team. That's as good as it gets.
That's as good as they get. They have Kouyaté and Idrissa Gueye in the midfield. That's an underrated midfield, really industrious midfield, and best player in the world. No ands, ifs, buts, or maybes. Sadio Mane up top.
And Vivian, we talked about the Bayern connection, but Senegal, they have two Chelsea teammates, Edouard Mendy in goal and Kalidou Koulibaly, two of the best at their position in the entire world. Not to mention Sadio Mane up top.
Yeah, no, that Chelsea connection is definitely going to be super helpful, especially because, Koulibaly, he's playing right in front of Mendy, who's in the sticks. So that is definitely a connection that they can carry to this World Cup for sure.
Our final group spotlight is Group B, and in this group, all eyes are on England, the fifth-ranked team in the world. They'll face off against Iran, the United States, and Wales. Connor, I have one question for you. Is it coming home?
Absolutely not. No,
all right,
Sam,
then.
It is not coming home.
Glad we settled on that.
Until Gareth Southgate gets over his Harry Maguire obsession. Maguire should have been dropped after his past 2 seasons of poor form at Man United, and I think it's absurd that he still continues to acknowledge Fikayo Tomori, who's been ripping it up in Serie A for AC Milan.
Yeah, no Tomori on the plane, no party, guys. That's my firm opinion. And also to add along to that, James Maddison not being on the plane either.
That's a good shout too.
That is a shame. And I think Southgate has a lot of favorites they're not going to pay off for him at this tournament.
And Kyle, look at the screen. Gareth Southgate loves favorites. He's that teacher that always plays favorites, and they're very reliant on Harry Kane to score the goals in this team.
Look, this team is just not puzzle-pieced well together. Somebody like Phil Foden, Sterling, and Kane, yeah, maybe on paper they're great players, elite players, but it's going to be so reliant on set pieces and Kane, and relying on people like Alexander-Arnold and Shaw to protect these wings against elite talent is not going to be good enough.
They are going to keep it sturdy at the back, and they're going to be disciplined at the back, but their defense is not nearly as strong. Now, Connor, quickly, the United States, how well can they fare in this group? They should be the favorites to finish second, but they could get caught off by Iran or Wales. What say you?
Honestly, yes, Sam. On paper, they are the second favorite to come second in the group. However, I think there's just too many questions left to answer for this U.S. team with not enough time left before the World Cup to answer them. The defense has looked shocking in the last international window with the 2-0 loss to Japan and the 0-0 tie to Saudi Arabia. And I think overall, there's a lot of things missing for this U.S. team with not enough time left to find the answers.
And Christian Pulisic, he's kind of become a bench warmer with Raheem Sterling at Chelsea this season, but he's their number 10. He's going to have to lead by example in this team. Can he do that?
I don't really think he's even the leader of this team. I think if you're looking at a leader, you're looking at Tyler Adams, and Christian Pulisic's got to keep his ego in check and find some form if the U.S. have any shot.
Yeah,
and Gio Reyna's going to be the key playmaker to watch in this group if the United States make a run. We're heading to commercial one last time. But when we come back, we're going to predict who will win the Golden Ball. Thiago Silva, Pedri, we'll tell you after the break. You're watching the Box Score Quest for the Cup.
All right, coming back in 10 seconds. Ready, camera one. Camera one, get a wide shot of the entire thing, and in 3, 2, 1, take talent cue.
Welcome back to Emerson College. Emerson
Camera
trails
4, get a shot of the players coming across the court.
10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point. As
Camera 2, close up on the person shooting.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson is hoping to pull away and score this big
Camera 1, get a close up, follow them over.
Emerson trails WPI 10 points. 10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point as the team finishes their timeout.
Camera 1, close up on number 33.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson is hoping to pull away.
Follow the ball, follow the ball.
We're back. You're watching the Box Score Quest for the Cup. I'm your host, Sam DeCoste, joined by Connor Donovan, Vivian Nguyen, Ashley Osmecki, and Nandan Nair. It's time to play some Manila Mayhem. Here's how the game works. Here in my hands, I have 4 manila envelopes. Inside each envelope is a player expected to compete in this year's World Cup. Each correspondent will randomly select an envelope, and when they open their envelope, they will have to argue why their player will win the 2022 Golden Ball. Let's get started. Connor, you are up first. Have your pick.
Ooh, I think I'll take this nice one.
One
right
at the
here.
end?
Yep.
All right. There we go.
See it.
Nope, take it that one. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Here you go.
Okay, thank you.
We rehearsed this.
All right, so in my folder, I have Kevin De Bruyne. And I think that Kevin De Bruyne is going to win the Golden Ball at this World Cup because, honestly, he's been shortchanged in the last couple Ballon d'Or ceremonies. There hasn't been enough credit given to him. He's been one of the most consistent best players in the world for the last 3-4 years now. I don't think anybody in world football has been quite as consistent at a world-class level as Kevin De Bruyne.
Here's the thing, though. How much can you gauge that to his success? Because you look at that Man City team, it is incredible. When you have Erling Haaland up there, I think you could put Adrien Rabiot in that midfield. He still racks up similar assists to Kevin De Bruyne. So I don't know, how do you think that really influences it? That's my question.
Honestly, I think that Kevin De Bruyne has been producing even before Haaland got there. We saw it before when he won Player of the Season, I think it was 2 seasons ago in the Premier League.
But even then, they still had an incredible system around him.
Still, though, he's been putting up these incredible assist and goal-scoring numbers, not only with the Man City team, but also turns it over and does it for the Belgium side, both at the Euros last time, and I think he'll do it again this World Cup.
So he has Erling Haaland at club level. Who does he have at international level? Romelu Lukaku? Please. Michy Batshuayi? Do better than that.
Oh, God.
Please, Connor.
Honestly, Sam, I think...
Divock Origi, Liverpool legend.
Listen, I think De Bruyne has the goals in him himself, honestly. If he doesn't see that target to pass to, he's going to let it rip from range and put it top bins, and no one can do anything about
Why
it.
doesn't he sell concessions while he's at it? Just do everything.
Then
All
he
right.
can do it all. Why
Might
not?
play keeper, too.
Vivian, you're up next. You have 3 to choose from.
right.
Choose wisely. You can't unchoose.
Okay. I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
All right. I have gotten Kylian Mbappe.
Okay.
You know, I feel like he is, he's regarded as one of the best players in the world for a reason. He is, in my opinion, a complete player. He has the pace, he's able to finish super well, and not only that, but he's able to create plays. He's a playmaker, and I think that with, Karim Benzema up front, I think there's no reason why he should be able to. Yeah, I think he's going to win the Golden Ball trophy.
Can we talk about how his ego is bigger than his goal-scoring output, though? I mean, I don't trust the man right now. He's already trying to, he secured the bag at PSG. He's trying to force his way out now. What if things go wrong? Is he going to try and get his players sent out, too?
Is he going to sell his teammates?
Is he going to sell his teammates? He can't do that now.
I think it's different because he's playing for country. This is something
He
that
literally
means
just
something
had an
to him.
image rights dispute with the Federation. I don't know about France being different.
Well, I just think the French, the French Federation, they've got some stuff going on behind the scenes. I support players over Federation always.
Now, let's play a little game of theoretical hypothetical.
Right.
Let's say that France draw a penalty and Karim Benzema wants to take the penalty, but so does Kylian Mbappe. what do? That's a source of little friction in the French camp. And if Mbappe's not taking penalties, then he's not the alpha dog up front for France. Is he even the best player on that French forward line?
I think so. I think he is. You know, Benzema, he's having a hot season. He just won the Ballon d'Or, but Mbappe has been voted, you know, into the Champions League Team of the Season consecutively for the last couple of seasons, I think, like 3 years or so. So I think he has a very solid case to be best player.
Well, if you win Liga Uber Eats, you can win the World Cup, that's for sure. Ashley, you're up next. You only have 2 to choose from, so
Alrighty.
slim pickings here.
This is the
All
one.
right.
I got Pedri.
Pedri.
Pedri is going to win the Golden Ball because he is young and hungry, and he's just going to wiggle through, and he's going to score those goals. He's going to make those chances.
He doesn't exactly wiggle. That's not really his style of play. He's more of a, you know, it's giving Jorginho winning Player of the Year a few years ago when Italy won the Euros. If you love, well, intentionally so. I do not think Jorginho deserved that award. But you're talking about Pedri, a player that just loves to do a little lateral pass to the right, then take it back, then do it to the left, then do it again. That's his play style. If we're talking about the best passer, maybe. But the best player in the World Cup, I'm not sold.
We'll see. He might have the team to support him.
Spain. Alvaro Morata leading the line. Like, he's going to be poaching those balls up to him. That's going to be, Qatar, beware. Spain is on the loose.
He's coming. Little boy's coming for you.
All right, well, Nandan, you only have 1 to choose from.
I do only have 1 to choose from.
Let's see.
All right, and I have Thiago Silva, Chelsea
Thiago
cult
Silva.
hero.
A defender, Nandan.
Yes, I think there's a common saying that defense wins championships. I think defense wins World Cups, in my opinion. I think Thiago Silva, at 38 years old, he's still one of the best center backs in the world, which is astonishing to me. He's still a stalwart in that Chelsea team. He still captains the Brazil team. I think that alone, in this incredible Brazil team, if he, at 38 years old, is starting, I think that alone speaks volumes about his quality. I think if Thiago Silva is going to come up in this World Cup, I think he could be the first. I don't think any defenders actually won the World Cup Golden Ball, I believe.
The last time it happened was Fabio Cannavaro in 2006. Oh, the Ballon d'Or, not the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, the Ballon d'Or. We're talking about World Cup Golden Ball, best player.
Right.
So no one's done that. But I believe that Thiago Silva is in prime position to do that. I think if he can come up big you've seen with Chelsea, with his defensive abilities, his aerial presence, his leadership overall, I think if he can translate that, I think Brazil, he has a good shot.
Well, this isn't Burnley. This isn't West Ham. This is Argentina. This is Germany. This is Spain. Not to mention a defender. You're saying that if Brazil win the World Cup, it will not be because of Neymar or Vinicius or Richarlison, Spurs legend. It'll be because of Chelsea legend, 38-year-old dinosaur Thiago Silva.
I think so, because yes, it's one thing that you can be scoring the goals, but here's the thing: if you're not, you can score as many goals if you want. If you concede more than you score, you lose the game. End of story. So who is going to be the one to stop the Messis? The Neymar, not Neymar, he plays in the same team, but if you have, say, have a semifinal of Brazil and Argentina, who's going to stop Messi? I think it would be Thiago Silva, if anyone.
Well, keep dreaming, I guess. That was fantastic. I hope you all enjoyed that game of Manila Mayhem. We'll see if any of you are correct and who wins the Golden Ball. Now, we would be remiss to discuss the Qatar World Cup without acknowledging what took place behind the scenes for the hosts to be ready in time. Kyle, over to you. Denmark certainly caught notice, and they're sending a statement before the tournament has even kicked off.
That's right, Sam. Qatar has been under the microscope ever since they were awarded hosting rights 12 years ago. And the corruption that has taken place since won't be lost on the team camps when games are underway. The Danish men's national team is hoping to make their mark in Qatar on and off the pitch. The Danes plan to take a stand against FIFA during the World Cup by removing their kit sponsor from their shirts. The Qatari government has banned political messaging of any kind on kits. Therefore, the Danes plan on wearing muted kits without sponsors or words in protest of the tournament organizers. FIFA's internalized corruption has been at the forefront for the last 12 years, ever since Qatar was awarded hosting rights to this year's World Cup in 2010. Several human rights violations have allegedly taken place during Qatar's preparations for the World Cup at the expense of over 30,000 migrant workers. Qatar had to build 7 brand new stadiums ready for opening day, as well as a new airport, subway system, and over 100 hotels. The Guardian says over 6,500 workers have died since Qatar won its World Cup bid as a result of squalid living conditions and heavy labor in extreme heat. Workers have also been withheld wages and had passports taken to forced labor. This year's World Cup will be held in the winter for the very first time to accommodate scorching summer temperatures in Qatar, which can reach as high as 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Denmark's kit sponsor, Hummel, has called their alternate all-black kit the color of mourning, in remembrance for the lives lost in order for Qatar to host the tournament. In Denmark's last tournament appearance at Euro 2020, Captain Simon Kjær and his teammates saved Christian Eriksen's life after he collapsed to the ground from cardiac arrest during a match. Denmark's heroics and unlikely semi-final run captured the hearts of the footballing world last year, and their impact on the World Cup could be even more widespread. For the Box Score, I'm Kyle Bracco.
Thank you, Kyle, for taking that deep dive. Great story. Now, enough beating around the bush. Shall we pick our winners for the World Cup? In one sentence, give me your winner and why. Vivian, you're up first.
I'm going to go with the Netherlands. Because,
really?
Yes, yes, because they have a very balanced squad, and I feel like they've just caught on fire, gotten momentum at the right time.
Nandan.
I think Argentina is going to win the World Cup because Lionel Messi has his best supporting squad ever. The stars are aligned. He will fulfill Maradona's legacy.
All right, Ashley.
I'm going to go Denmark. I think that they're.
What?
I think that they have what it takes. They're going to sneak and they're going to really surprise people.
Wow.
Yep.
That would be a sneak. Kyle.
It's going to be Brazil. I think that they're the most complete team on the field. As long as they can keep the egos in check, it's their World Cup to lose.
Bold pick, Kyle. Connor.
I think Argentina are going to win the World Cup, Sam, because world football fans deserve a Lionel Messi World Cup to finish his international career.
How about a hat trick to end the show? Argentina will win the World Cup. It's written in the stars for them. Yep. It's going to happen. But that's all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us live on the Box Score Quest for the Cup. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at EIV Box Score. You can also follow me at the Sam DeCoste. And keep your eyes peeled for our next episode for some more red-hot analysis like this. Belgium will crash out in the group stage of this year's World Cup. This team is crashing and burning. I don't like what I'm seeing from this Belgian team. For Kyle Bracco, Ashley Osmecki, Nandan Nair, Vivian Nguyen, and Connor Donovan, I'm Sam DeCoste. Enjoy the football, and we'll see you next time. We're out.